Hello, everyone, and thanks for taking the time to join us today. My name is Diogo Geb. I'm CEO of GetUp Cloud. We know that managing Kubernetes environments can be challenging, and that's exactly why we have put a lot of effort into this new release of Zora. In this session, we'll walk you through key updates designed to address the real-world challenges our users face when managing Kubernetes environment. I will do a quick overview, then hand it over to Kevin and Mateus, who will dive deeper into the details of the release notes, and demo what's new. Feel free to send your questions through the chat window, and we will answer them by the end of the session. We will keep it short, this one short, about 30 minutes or so. So let's jump right in. I will start with a bit of context about why addressing misconfiguration is such a big deal. Misconfiguration remain one of the top causes of security incidents in Kubernetes environments. And as these environments get more complex, it's easy for critical issues to slip through the cracks, leading to delays in deployments, revenue loss, or even worse scenarios. In this release, we are introducing features that help your team better focus on the most critical risks in your specific environment, in your specific context. So just a few numbers to highlight how common these challenges are today, or how bad it can get. A recent report shows that nearly 60% of security issues in cloud-native environment are tied to misconfiguration. The same report found that 6-7% of organizations reported delays or slowdowns in deployments due to security concerns. And with that, I will pass over to Kevin and Mateus, who have been instrumental in bringing these features to life, along with the rest of our amazing team. It's truly been a group effort, and everyone's hard work has made this release possible. Kevin, over to you.
Great, thank you very much. Before I get started, I know that we have a poll running. It's certainly available in Zoom. I'm not sure if it's available through the other channels that you're watching this on. Please take a second to take a look at the poll. It's only a single question, and it's really just trying to understand what the biggest challenge is related to your day-to-day work within Kubernetes and security. So if you complete that, we will come back later on. We'll take a look at the results and see what is of interest there. Okay, so as Diogo says, this has been quite a big release for us. We have made a substantial number of backend improvements, things which may not be visible when you're using the product. Some of these have been things like moving the database. We've switched the database on the back end. We've changed the persistence mechanism. All good changes which will allow us to move faster and provide better performance moving down the line for future features that we include. There are a number of very visible front-end changes that you will see when you're looking at the product and using the product. So this is really what we're going to look at today. I'll certainly talk about within the next few minutes. The first significant change is that every single API that we expose within our product is now protected through OAuth flows. Now, whether that is a device flow or it's an authorization flow through the UI, there are a number of places where we include it. The first time you see it will obviously be when you log in, although you may not realize it. There is the normal social login that we have, but then behind the scenes, everything from that point onwards uses tokens to talk with APIs on the backend server. The first place where you will actually get to see this in action is when you install the operator. When you are integrating with the SaaS product, you will be asked to run a command, which is a Helm plugin, which will initiate a device authorization flow. This will provide a link where you can go and you can authorize that particular instance of the operator to get access to your account. So you get the screen that comes up about the device activation, asking you to enter the code. If you look at the text at the top there are two ways to do it. One is to just follow the activate link and then enter the code manually. The second link actually has the user code embedded in it, so you can just click on that and it will take you there. So once that is, once those tokens have been obtained, and these are all within the instructions from the UI, there's nothing that you need to remember about this. This will then authorize your operator to send the results of the scans to the backend SaaS. And it will refresh the token periodically as well. So you can keep that current. So that's the first major change that you will see from using the product. The next major change is really to help with the usability of the product, in that we have introduced the ability to accept risks for risk acceptance for misconfiguration and vulnerabilities. This allows you to filter out certain notifications on the user interface that you don't really want to see. You can filter them out based on specific resources or namespaces, and you can also set an expiry date for when the risk acceptance rule will terminate, and then you will see the resources again. So you can do it for a temporary period as well. The details screen that we show for risk acceptance will give you obviously the details of the rule that you've set up. It will also tell you which misconfigurations or vulnerabilities are being ignored and which resources as well are being ignored. So you can get the details of the impact of the rule on the vulnerabilities or misconfigurations that you have within your clusters. There is also an audit trail, which will show you the changes that have been made to the rule, and more importantly, who has done it and why. There's when you're creating the rule or updating the rule, you're asked to provide details for it within that process, and this will be visible on the audit trail, so you have a history of what has happened and why it's there. So those are really the major significant visible changes that we've made to the product, things that you're going to come into contact with on a regular basis. Many of the behind the scenes changes, we will make use of those further on to introduce new features. Like, for example, when we talk about the authorization and the OAuth flows there, we'll be able to do fine-grained permissions. We'll be able to do role-based access control. Those will be features that we'll be looking at in the near future, introducing this into each of the workspaces so that you have the ability to administer it and grant permissions in a more fine-grained way than you can do currently. So with that, what we're going to do is we're going to turn over to Matthias, who's going to take us through a demonstration of the features. So Matthias, if you're ready, I will stop sharing and I will let you share your screen.
Okay, let me share my screen. So share screen. Just a minute. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay, so first of all, hi everyone. So before explore the main updates of this version, let me do a quickly overview about Zora Dashboard. Okay, so here is the first page you can see after signing, right? We can see two clusters here. These clusters are part of our workspace. And you can be part of multiple workspaces, and you can also invite all your teammates to your workspace, right? And each cluster we can see here has Zora open source installed, okay? And Zora open source is handling schedule scanning with multiple plugins. So for now, we have two plugins for misconfigurations and one for vulnerabilities, and we will explore more about this. Okay, so let me show you an installation, a quickly installation to show what Kevin said about the device authorization. So let me back here. I just clicked on connect cluster, and here is the command. Okay, let me go to terminal. I already have a kind cluster up and running. So just paste the command. Then we can see this activation. We need to go to this page, back to the terminal, and paste the code, right? So here, confirm. So, okay, the device is authorized, right? It's activated here now. Then the installation will work normally. Okay, let's back to the Zora dashboard here. While the installation is happening, let's explore the clusters here. We have two clusters, and we can see vulnerabilities and misconfigurations for each one or all together by clicking here in the sidebar. Okay, misconfigurations. If we, okay, kind cluster is already here, right? So if we click in one cluster, we can see more details about this insurance cluster. We have this top 5 lists to help you to prioritize the issues, okay? To help you and your team. We can see the misconfigurations that affect more resources with the more severity misconfigurations, the same for vulnerabilities. And here we have the more affected resources and images, right? Okay, here we can see only misconfigurations. Marvin and Popeye are the current plugins that scans for misconfigurations. And here, let's see what are the misconfigurations we have today. Privileged container. If we click here, we can see the resources affected by this misconfiguration. And this tab, we can see we had a different view from resource, right? So here we can see a resource from kubesystem namespace. Okay, so let's try to ignore this kind of misconfigurations. So for every item in both tables, we have this icon here to accept this risk, okay? So here, I clicked to accept and misconfigurations, right? Accept risks in that resource. Then the resource is already set here, but let's do a different thing. Let's open this first one. It's here. Then I will click here, and both are already set. But I would like to ignore all resources from kubesystem namespace. Then we can select here. Namespace are set because that resource was from kubesystem. Okay. We can set a date to expire this rule, right? But let's keep without expiration, and we need to set a reason here. I trust kubesystem. Accept a risk. Click it here. Am I missing something here? Just a miss. Namespace. kube system. Okay, it's done. Now we already have the lists updated, these numbers also updated for kube system namespace, right? We can do better. We can ignore any misconfiguration for kube system namespace, right? But okay, so let's move. We can also ignore accept vulnerabilities, right? So here we can see images and vulnerabilities. By clicking in an image, we can see all vulnerabilities that affect this image, right? And okay, let's ignore one of them. So the image and vulnerability are already set here because it's where we clicked, okay? It's not exploitable. Let's suppose that we analyze it, all right? We analyzed this vulnerability and we can confirm that it's not exploitable. So done. And okay, we don't see this vulnerability anymore, right? So this is maybe one of the main features of this version. We hope that this feature can help you and your company to fit Zora Dashboard in your needs, right? Then to focus on what is really important here, okay? We can also list the rules we created, okay? We have one misconfiguration rule and vulnerability rule, and by clicking in each one, we can see more details here. Details about who created, which is being ignored by this rule, and also history of the events related to this rule. Okay. And well, that's it. We talked about the device flow authorization during the installation and the risk acceptance features we have here. Now I'm back to you, Kevin.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. I'll just share my screen again. Okay, so with that, we have come to the Q&A section of the presentation. So if you do have any questions, if you can ask them in chat, that is the best way. Let me just get chat up and running. Okay, so we have a few questions. Looks like they've been sent via Diogo. How does the new feature help prioritize critical issues over non-critical ones? Who would like to take that on? Matthias, do you want to give that a go?
Oh, okay. How does the new feature help prioritize critical issues over non-critical ones? Yeah. I think the most part of vulnerability scanning and security tools report a lot of things, and it's a mess to understand what is happening and what exactly is really an issue, right? What exactly I need to take a look. So yeah, with this feature, I think make our lives easy by ignoring what we already analyzed, what we already trust, and Well, I think it's the way this feature can help.
Yeah, just to add to that, as Mateus said, a lot of tools have an issue where they overwhelm you with information, and really the risk acceptance work that we've done is to give you a mechanism through which you can manage that yourself. So you can clean up information that you know you don't need to see. And that reduces the impact of coming into the tool. You only get to see the vulnerabilities or the misconfigurations that actually concern you, along with any new ones that come up, obviously, in future scans. But it gives you a way to control the amount of information that you're dealing with. So that is the primary advantage of risk acceptance. It's really to help your whole workflow in handling misconfigurations and vulnerabilities and getting them dealt with. Okay, so thank you very much for that. The next question, what's the main difference between the new version and the previous one in terms of performance or security? From security, that is fairly easy. We've already given you a demonstration of where it will impact you, which is through the device flow. So this is the same OAuth workflow that you would see if you were, for example, enabling Netflix on your TV, right? You sign into Netflix, you'll get a code that comes up on your TV. You have to get your app up and make sure the code is the same and confirm it. This is exactly the same. It's a very well-used standard, the OAuth workflows. Token-based authentication and authorization, which allows us to protect every single API that we have on the back end with various access rules, all through the token that you get. When you log into the UI, you will go to a social login. That will again give us a token that we can use to pass to the APIs and authenticate your access to the API, so that we know that the person who's logged into the front end is getting access to what they should be getting access to on the back end. Actually, I was going to go on to something else, but I'll leave that for question number 3 because I think that talks about future features. So in terms of performance, like we said at the outset, we have made some significant changes in the back end. Mateus has done the majority of that work, switching us away from Mongo to Postgres as the database. So we're now using a relational database. We're also using a different object relational mapping product called GORM. So that is what we're using on the back end to help us develop quickly, to provide us with features that we would otherwise have to develop ourselves. So those are the main features on the back end that are going to help with performance. Obviously, Postgres is a very well used database. It is very highly tuned database. We expect to face fewer issues with that performance wise than we do with Mongo, and that's certainly shown out in some of the testing that we've done so far. So those are those hopefully have answered those questions. The third question, what future features or improvements are planned after this release? Camila, do you want to have a go at that, or do you want me to take a stab at that?
Yes, we are discovering together with our users, because we want to invest in features that really help the users in the daily work, because this is the challenge. We have a lot of information, and how this tool like Zora Dashboard can help us to address all issues, all challenges in the day. So we are working on a discovery. Diogo and I, we are talking with users and, oh my gosh, collect all informations, and soon as possible, we will share with you the roadmap, the next feature, sorry.
So I will add to that because I know that there are features that we are expecting to implement. And we expect that to be part of the roadmap. When we talked about authentication and authorization early on, the switch to OAuth workflows and token-based authorization, one of the abilities that gives us is the ability to include fine-grained permissions within the access rights given to a person. So we expect to add screens which will allow somebody to manage their workspace with role-based access controls for people that they invite. So it will no longer be coarse-grained access. You will be able to fine-tune which information a particular user on your workspace will be able to see, which operations they will be able to perform. So we will end up using the token-based authentication and authorization that we've added in this release as the basis for enabling role-based access control to various parts of the workspace. So that's one feature that we expect to include there. We're also going to include features which are designed to improve the way that we work within the cluster. So moving to real-time scanning of the cluster, reacting to events as they happen in the cluster rather than using schedule-based scanning. We are also going to look at improvements in the way that some of the plugins work. So for example, for Trivy, we have already made significant improvements to Trivy for performance with the way that it generates the reports to greatly reduce the number of resources that are required within the cluster. So that is a change that we've made with our version of Trivy that we're going to upstream sometime in the near future. But we're also going to make changes to the way that Trivy obtains the database. So rather than downloading the databases on a regular basis, which is currently how it works, we are going to add the ability to patch the database. So you will just get deltas sent down and we will automatically patch it in the backend so that we don't need to download the whole database every time. So again, these are focused on resource consumption on the backend, improving the way that the scanning works. And in that instance for Trivy itself. With regards to plugins, we're going to make the plugin feature more general. We're going to give the ability for people to add in their own plugins and to configure how that will then be sent to the backend so that you would be able to see those issues as well coming through the UI. It won't just be the plugins that we provide by default. If you have particular plugins that you use within your organization for doing scanning, we will be giving you the ability to integrate those into Zora as if they were a native plugin. So you can add in your own scanning on top of what we provide. So it gives you a way to extend the functionality within Zora. So those are features that I know that we have been talking about internally that we expect to have on the roadmap, along with other features that we will hopefully hear from yourselves about which features are important for you and would help you to drive your workflows within your organizations. So I think that's it. Diogo, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I'm
No?
good.
Okay. I suspect I probably covered most of what we've been talking about internally there.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so that's it. Do we have any other questions from anybody, either directly or via anybody on the call?
Yes, we don't. No.
Okay, so in that case, going back to the poll, it looks like we had 6 respondents to it within the call. How can I get one of the shirts? That's a good question. I don't know. This is great. I mean, even better is the back. So I don't know if you can see the back.
Yeah.
So that's even better. And I will be at KubeCon presenting. We will talk about one of the other projects we do, as well as validating admission policy at KubeCon, and I will be wearing this shirt when I present. So I will be there doing that. If you want to see the shirt, that is.
Maybe you have some extras on your backpack.
I will talk to you later, Diogo, and make sure that I do.
Okay.
So that we have things to give out. So anyway, back to the poll. We had oh, it's moving about my screen for some reason. We had 6 respondents to it. The difficulty in resolving security issues quickly and effectively took up 1/3 of the votes, and 2/3 of the votes went to the complexity in prioritizing security initiatives. So those are obviously the areas that are important to you and areas which we will endeavor to help you solve.
I guess the last one, the complexity in prioritizing security initiatives, it's because of the number of issues that it's usually found inside the environments.
Yeah, information overload, especially when you first start to scan your clusters.
Yes.
You don't really realize how many issues are there. And when you do, it's very overpowering to see the number of issues that you get on what is intended to be a clean cluster, but it isn't when you start scanning it.
Yes, yes.
So, but that's the importance of scanning, regular scanning, and looking at the state of your cluster.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
Diogo, any final words?
No, thank you all for joining us today, and congratulations for this new release. Lots of good stuff. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.